There's also shades of strategy that work a little bit more effectively than others. If you need to get better at sales to generate more revenue for your new business, there is a strategy to selling. Why would success in business be 80% about your psychology and your mindset and only 20% is strategy? How does that even make sense? Here's how. All right, so let's get to the last part. So remember, I told you about the acronym SAM, SAM. So we talked about strategy. You have to have the right strategy. There is a wrong strategy, there is a right strategy. There are levels of Kyle, thanks, man. He's in here duck on water, baby. That's hilarious. Um, so here's the thing. There are this is something gonna sound weird. There are shades of gray, right? Shade there, so it's not just black and white in terms of strategy. There's also shades of strategy that work a little bit more effectively than others. So your job will always be, how can I learn that one distinction that will work and be effective? So if you need to get better at sales to generate more revenue for your new business, there is a strategy to selling. Like there is a way to get people to say yes more often than no. There's a strategy to it. So you have to go out and learn the strategy. If you don't have the strategy or if you suck at the strategy, you have to learn it. I've invested, my goodness, 100 grand over the past 15 years in seminars, programs, coaches, books, all learning strategies, right? So you have to learn the strategy. Then you got to take massive action, right? You have to outwork everyone else. You have to outwork your competition. The last part is your mindset. You must create and adopt the mindset that you are unstoppable. Why? And what does that even mean? Like, okay, cool. That sounds awesome, Tarek. That's very clear and specific. Well, here's what's going to happen. What happens when obstacles occur? Because here's what's going to happen. You're going to try a strategy and it may not work the first time. This is why when I worked for Tony Robbins, and he would say your success in anything is 80% is 20% strategy and 80% mindset. Why? Why? Does that make sense? I just talked about how important strategy is. Why would success in business be 80% about your psychology and your mindset and only 20% is strategy? How does that even make sense? Here's how. Because if you have a weak mindset in psychology, meaning you're someone who quits, you give up when things get hard, you don't believe in yourself, you doubt it'll work for you, you procrastinate all the time, you're indecisive. That's a weak mindset. The good news is you can improve it. Your mindset is like a muscle. You can strengthen it. It's gonna take some time, but you can strengthen it. What happens is you can have the perfect strategy. Like you're like, boom, I got the strategy, but then you don't do it. You don't actually execute on it, or you don't follow through, or you half ass it, or when it doesn't work the first time, you stop. Have you ever had a time where, like, if you click on something and it doesn't work the first time, or like, man, what's the analogy? I've had it happen so many times where it's like you try it the first time, you press a button or try to turn something on, and you're like, oh, that's weird, it didn't work. And then literally you do it again, and for whatever reason, it works the second time. You're like, oh, that was weird. Why didn't it work the first time? You know how many people press it and go, "Oh, it didn't work," and walk away? And like, I'll do it another time." If you can just become that person that develops the mindset that I am freaking unstoppable, whether it's going over, underneath, through, around, I will find a way. I will find a way. No matter what, I will figure this shit out. It's having that mindset that when your strategy doesn't work, that's why success in business is 80% mindset and psychology. Because if you have the strong mindset and psychology, it doesn't matter if the first strategy didn't work. You will keep going until you figure out the strategy. Like there's I've seen people all the time where it's like the answer is right in front of you. It's right in front of you, you just didn't do it. Or I gave you the answer, why didn't you execute? Or you waited 2 weeks. What happened? It's a mindset thing. We have an individual that started working with our team, and our team presented franchise brands to him, and he didn't want to be introduced to the brands. He's like, I don't know if I can do it. He didn't believe in himself. Like, you already lost. I told my team, I'm like, don't push anything. That's it. Because then I get worried. That person then goes out and starts the business, and then with a weak mindset like that fails. They don't fail because the franchise was bad. They don't fail because the franchise didn't work. They fail because they have a weak mindset. That's the hidden thing that franchisors can't really say bluntly, is that a lot of people, or people that will fail, or that underperforming franchisees, assuming it's a good system, they'll fail because of their mindset. If you enjoyed this short clip from the podcast, you can check out another short clip right here. Or if you want to watch the full episode of this podcast, you can watch that here. And remember, knowledge is not power. It's applied knowledge that's power. Take care. Have a great rest of your day.